Hola, buenos días. Good morning to everybody. I am Elisa Montesinos, editor of the SACO book, and I will lead today's international panel. We are gathering once again at La Molinera in Antofagasta, the headquarters of this biennial edition, to discuss with distinguished guests. This morning we are joined by 7 artists from different countries who were selected through the Dark Ecosystems open call for the international exhibition at the Melbourne Clark Historic Pier as part of the SACO Contemporary Art Biennial. As you may know, SACO is present by Escondida BHP and funded by the support program for collaborating cultural organizations, PAOCC, of the Chilean Ministry of Cultures, Arts and Heritage, as well as the regional government of Antofagasta. Without a doubt, the most visited and beloved exhibition of the Biennial is the one held at the historic pier. This prestigious international open call attracts hundreds of applicants from around the world. Only 7 are selected by a specialist jury to visit the region and bring their proposals to life. Today, we will talk with the winners of this edition. They submit their projects without knowing the sites. Many of them wished to visit the north of Chile for the first time, and with a significant challenge, doing the site-specific artworks for this historic public space in Antofagasta, which thousands of people will visit over the next 3 months. We prepare some questions to hear about their creative processes, their expectations for this collective exhibition, and their impressions of the city. Let me begin by introducing our participating artists. ANUnaran Jargalsaikhan, multidisciplinary and artist from Mongolia. Her work explores universal dualisms such as feminine and masculine, inner and outer, subconscious and conscious, metaphysical and physical. It has been exhibited at biennials in Mongolia, Taiwan, Korea, Peru, and Spain, in renowned venues such as the National Gallery of Modern Art and the Sanabazar Museum of Fine Arts in Ulaanbaatar, among others. Eduardo Motta, Brazilian artist, he studied at the Federal University of Fine Arts of Minas Gerais, where he was a student of sculptor Amilcar de Castro. In 1988, he won the Fiat Award for his public image project and participated in several group exhibitions in Brazil. After a 3-decade absence from the exhibition circuit, he returned 6 years ago, resuming his solo exhibitions. Debbie Fitch, New Zealand artist specializing in installations. She works with found materials to create large-scale sculptures that often float on water or rise into the sky. Her works reflect the natural world and use wind and solar energy to collaborate with the elements, evoking a sense of play and wonder. With a background in theatrical design, she's an expert in creating ephemeral art that is both low-cost and environmentally conscious, always considering the full life cycle of the artwork within a circular economy framework. Fernando, Brazilian researcher, visual artist, and theater director. He lives between Rio de Janeiro and São João da Barra, where he coordinates Casa Duna, Center for Art, Research and Memory of Atafona. His investigations involve long periods of fieldwork, experimentation with different media, and collaborative and socially engaged processes. He focuses on the ecopolitics of arts within the context of the climate emergency, exploring how projects can navigate the space between activism and aesthetics. Oksana Rudko, Siberian artist living and working in Sao Paulo. Her practice explores post-humanism, focusing on sound, migration, continuous transformation, and the search for miracles. She places sound in unexpected spaces and combines sound art, photography, installation, intervention, printmaking, sculpture, video art, and text. Sebastián Palacios, he is the first artist from Antofagasta to be part of the international exhibition at the pier. He holds a master's degree in landscape architecture. His training and career have been deeply shaped by his interest in arid environments, particularly the Atacama Desert. He has participated in international exhibitions and publications exploring the landscapes in its cultural and productive dimensions. His artistic approach integrates academic research with contemporary art. Victoria Björk, Icelandic visual artist currently based in Germany. Her work explores sculpture and performance at the boundaries of time and nature, dreams and reality, care and destruction. Her work draws on the poetics of space, dualities, and symbolism. She creates narratives through fragments that take form as sculptures, scenographies, writing, and performances, with a strong emphasis on ecological methods and materials. Since we have 7 panelists today, I'd like to propose a methodology to streamline the panel. I have 3 questions which can be answered by 3 to 4 artists each time. And I suggest that you can say your name the first time at least, and maybe your country, and we'll conclude by opening the space to questions from the audience. So my first question 1, is what motivates you to apply to this exhibition held in a city outside the traditional centers of the global art world, and to create a site-specific piece for a place you probably never visited before? So, who would like to start?
Hello, everyone. My name is Oksana Rutko. I'm a Siberian artist living in Brazil. And about your question, first, what I think motivated me to apply, to participate in an open call was a strong curatorial concept about dark ecosystems, which I used to study a little with the philosophy of Timothy Morton and other contemporary philosophers. And second, of course, it was the opportunity to work with an open space near the ocean. So I could think and try to imagine my project with connection with the this territorial landscape, which I couldn't imagine, but I tried. It was my challenge. And well, also it was a desire to reach this place and to research a new place, which is so far and unexpected on a casual art perspective and art scene. So I think this was the main things for me.
Hello, I'm from Mongolia. My name is ANUnaran. Really nice to be here. This is my first time in South America. Yeah, it's as the same as Roxana said, it is really deep connected with the curatorial proposal. It's quite strong, really touched me. I was interested in work in a place far from the usual art centers. I like it, the challenge and connecting with the new landscape. I would never been before, but it's somehow it's really close feeling, such as it's a really similar in Mongolian landscape, such as in mountain, the color of the ground. So, it's, yeah. So, yeah.
Hello, I'm Debbie. I'm from New Zealand. As well, I think for me, the curatorial concept was very strong and evocative. I've always wanted to travel to South America, and I saw the picture of the pier, this majestic pier, and I had a picture of this majestic, large artwork. And I was reading about, in Chile, they'd found just last year a new species of sea sponge, and I was very curious about this sea sponge, and seeing the picture of it really spoke to me about this place and this curatorial concept of dark ecosystems. And the time, 10 days, felt achievable to me with small children. So I thought it's something that I would love to do, and I can achieve that and make something beautiful, I hope.
Buenos días. Yo me llamo Fernando, vengo de Brasil. I need to take to that. Mi interés pela Bienal está muy ligado a esta propuesta que muy localizada. Mi trabajo viene de un trabajo localizado también, pero en la otra parte del continente. Pero ahí también trabajo con las caletas de pescadores y con estos materiales que son desechados con redes. Aquí me pareció una oportunidad muy especial de hacer algo como una transposición de un trabajo localizado para una otra situación y localizarlo nuevamente con otro contexto, pero ahí haciendo ya un diálogo entre los continentes. Hay muchas otras cosas que me parecen interesantes, porque aí em Antofagasta estamos em um território marcado pelo extrativismo mineiro, e lá onde vengo também há um processo de extrativismo muito violento, muito duro para os pueblos. Então, estas situações me pareceram muito potentes, muito valiosas, e também creio que desde o ponto de vista formal há muitas questões que me estavam interessando em Le Muelle, com as gruas, que são também uma coisa que não está mais servindo para a indústria, e assim também me parece que meu trabalho é como fazer algo que se envuelve, enmuele, não há mais distinção entre mi trabalho e el muelle. É como a estrutura das gruas se torna também mi trabalho. Não sei, há outras coisas que posso falar depois, pero agora, por mim, eu gostaria de passar para meus colegas.
Okay. I don't know, you would like to answer? Okay.
Hola a todos y todas los presentes. Ich werde Spanish sprechen. I will speak español. Bueno, mi nombre es Sebastián. Yo soy de aquí, de Antofagasta. Por tanto, quizás hasta ahí perfectamente podría ser mi motivo, ¿verdad?, por exponer. Pienso también que ante el mismo fundamento alguien podría decir perfectamente lo contrario, quizás por conocer la ciudad, ¿verdad?, el lugar, quizás no podría haber interés de exponer aquí. Para mí fue todo lo contrario. Pienso que un gran motivo tiene que ver con esta exposición en el muelle, como fuera quizás de un espacio tradicional, ¿verdad?, expositivo, de un lugar cerrado, ¿verdad? Sobre todo por el muelle, por cierta quizás carga histórica. Creo que si hay una infraestructura o un artefacto del paisaje en la ciudad que ha pasado por vicisitudes, precisamente el muelle, carga simbólica, carga física, de movimientos, de abandono por bastante tiempo. Lo visité incluso cuando legalmente no se podía, de adolescente. Por tanto, sí o sí es un elemento del cual me relacioné muchas veces con el lugar en sí. Por tanto, sí, pienso que eso es ya un gran motivo. Pero el tema de la convocatoria fue netamente lo que me motivó a postular, ya que fue resonante con cierto trabajo que había estado realizando en general en la macrozona norte. Me tocó recorrer transversalmente la macrozona. Siempre se habla de Chile, ¿verdad?, la gran diferencia de paisaje que hay por su gran longitud. Pero yo creo que también el paisaje, sobre todo cultural, cambia por sobre todo en las mismas regiones a medida que la altura cambia. La diversidad cultural, precisamente también por la diversidad medioambiental, física, ecosistémica. Por tanto, me hizo, insisto, resonante la temática con cierto trabajo que había realizado en conjunto, tal como dice Dagmara siempre, ¿verdad?, te topas trabajando en estos medio ambientes con otras personas, ¿verdad?, que vienen de otras áreas, científicos, en lagunas, en salares, geólogos. Por tanto, vi, insisto, una resonancia en eso y fui total motivo. Y lo último, quizás en menos porcentaje, pero quizás fue un puntapié final. Actualmente resido en Austria. Y una compañera de trabajo, una curadora, a las semanas que salió el Open Call, me envió la información de la Bienal y me dijo, me imagino que vas a postular. Entonces, claro, si tenía alguna duda, ¿verdad?, o sea, en Austria, en Graz, alguien estaba pendiente, ¿verdad?, e interesado en el desierto, fue como el punto culmine, punto final.
Victoria and Eduardo, if you would like to answer.
Okay. I am Eduardo from Brazil. Good morning, everyone. And first time I heard about the biennial, SACO biennial, I was reading a Chilean author, Lina Meruane, The book is about a woman who finds that she's ill, and she's all the time she's thinking about her inside her body and the things that are happening in her organism, and she's also studying the sky and the stars. And so this idea, this relation between micro and macrocosmos were implicit also in the amazing curatorial text. When I read the curatorial text, I felt that I would like to join something that really seems important in this moment of uncertainty and fluidity in the world. So that's it.
Thank you. Yes. Speak into the microphone. Yes. I try. My name is Victoria Björk. I'm from Iceland. I'm one of the exhibiting artists. I heard about SACO Bienal last year when I was participating in a different desert project in Poland that was organized by Joe Vavra, one artist and cultural organizer that recently had a workshop here. And Joe invited Dagmara, the curator, to the project in Poland to introduce this project of SACO Bienal. And that's where I heard about it first, across the world in a different desert. And yes, it evoked a lot of interest, and then here I am. Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting and different perspective. This question, I think, is related with the first one, and maybe some of you already answer in some ways, but let's see what happened with the questions. The curatorial proposal, Dark Ecosystem, is open to diverse interpretations, ranging from existential and environmental concerns to mythology and political resistance. Many of the works explore these themes through sound, visual poetry, spatial displacement, and sensory activation. What drew your attention to this subject, and how did you approach it in your project? Who would like to start?
I guess I could start. The curatorial concept of dark ecosystems is something that's quite close to my artistic practice, and something that I approached in a rather different way than I would have normally. In this instance, I approach the dark ecosystems in the way of what do you call it? A fictional character that is imposed in the landscape, and I imagine the different. Oh, I'm sorry. I will have to fast forward to somebody else. Yeah, here.
Let me see. In most of my works, I work with images, objects, and words, and with that transits through different medias and different production systems. So the idea that in this movement they suffer some kind of erosion, and they shift from one place to other and one meaning to other, is something that I think that is related to your question. You see, and so I felt that the biennial proposal in this way, it was very close to my approach to the work, you know.
Bueno, en la pregunta, ¿verdad? Se dice que el tema es amplio como y abierto, y creo que precisamente esa apertura me permitió conectar con cierta dimensión del paisaje del territorio que quizás es menos evidente, menos turística, en cierto porcentaje quizás menos también como espectacular. Pero sí, eso creo que es un primer punto sobre el tema. Y cómo se interpreta, claro, en el proyecto, en la obra, bueno, ahí la van a ver, pero es una maqueta suspendida, ¿verdad?, como síntesis del desierto, y sobre una base de espejos, y creo que, claro, hacer visible esa forma quizás de control un tanto silencioso del paisaje, del territorio, cierta fragmentación de él, con una geometría, ¿verdad?, un orden muy artificial, concesiones, ¿verdad?, que aparecen en planos, pero que no siempre pueden ser percibidos en el caminar, en el andar diario, a ojo, ¿verdad?, desnudo. Por tanto, claro, creo que en ese sentido es quizás un ecosistema oscuro, en el sentido que está ahí, pero solo puede ser percibido si sabes o te ha llegado la información de cómo y dónde mirar u observar.
I think my methodology is not working, but feel free to answer all the questions because I think we are okay in the time.
The concept of dark ecosystems, which mentions strategy of resistance based on the example of life, which is almost impossible in the Atacama. I think the main thing which is resonated very much with the idea of my project to try to recreate a very little known sound from the far north, which is disappearing because of climate change, and I decided to try to recreate this sound here with help of people from South America and to share this story from north to south. And I tried to find the resistance in the power of storytelling, how sharing story and trying to recreate the sound which is disappearing, how we can save the sound or just a story about the sound. And this is something what I found in touch with the curatorial concept and dark ecosystems.
For me, dark ecosystem is not just about darkness, it's about what's hidden, sacred and often overlooked. In Mongolian ancient beliefs, we see nature as alive and full of unseen energies. The serpent representing Naga, we call it in Mongolian Los. It's seen as a protector of natural elements, water, land, and mountains. This belief inspired me to explore invisible forces in my work through movement and material. Also, the Mongolian word har means both dark and to see something. That double meaning felt important because when we can't see clearly, we become short-sighted. In Mongolian, we call it Jargalsaikhan, and that word comes from the same root. So for me, darkness is not just about the absence of light, it's also about that we fail to notice or understand.
For me, dark ecosystems was thinking also about what can't be seen but is still so important to life and the systems. So thinking in the deep ocean, some people think there's not a lot there, but actually it's filled with life, with a lot of different biodiversity. The same in the desert, even if we don't know the life forms that exist there, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And so I was interested in the work in exploring what those physically deep life forms are. Also thinking about ecosystem, ecology, economics. All that root word of eco is home. And currently our economic system doesn't live within our home. It doesn't respect the boundaries of our home. And so I'm thinking, how can we have systems that respect the boundaries of the planet? So the deep glass sponge is one of the oldest, well, the oldest living creatures, some people think. It's very old. How can we look to the systems that have existed for a long time, the indigenous knowledge that has existed for a long time, to create economic systems that respect the planet?
Para mí, la propuesta curatorial é muito interessante porque nos faz pensar em muitos aspectos, uno muito científico, material, desses seres que estão aí extremamente, extremófilos, extremamente resistentes, que podem sobreviver por longos períodos. Pero me parece que a vida hoje passa um pouco por processo de resistência que é o que podemos pensar, talvez, a partir daí. Porque estamos em processo de mortificação, de guerra generalizada, de crises ambientales, temos cada vez mais uma percepção muito obscura de futuro. Então, aí me pareceu que meu trabalho estava muito conectado. Claro, formalmente, meu trabalho tem uma ideia muito directa sobre a ideia de fantasmagoria, porque as redes que eu uso, que são rotas, são chamadas de redes fantasmas quando vão ao mar, porque se tornam como seres muito peligrosos para a vida marina. Pero creio que há aí uma outra coisa que se passa com meu trabalho dentro desta proposta, que está mais a ver com esta ideia de um materialismo encantado que eu me gostaria de pensar, que não sei ainda o que eres, pero que os materiais carregam em si tu própria história. E aí, para mim, quando falava com Dagmara para fazer esta obra, me pareceu muito importante trazer as redes desde Brasil, desde esta praia que eu estou trabalhando, porque aí sim há algo que cria na outra dinâmica que talvez podemos descobrir com este processo. Pero, bom, estamos aí.
Thank you. The third question that, as I said before, feel free to answer everybody, because I think I was afraid to don't have enough time to talk about the three subjects, but we are okay. So, how was your experience in the city of Antofagasta? How it's been? Because you arrived, I think some of you arrived 1 week ago, so you are just knowing the city. And what can you tell us about the process of installing your work with the support of the local team?
I can start because I installed yesterday with such a wonderfully supportive team. We had this idea of these great big sea sponges. I saw the giant majestic pier and I imagined these giant sea sponges, and I loved the challenge that they all had to fit down into a suitcase. So that was a physical, logistical challenge, but then took them out of the suitcase. There was a lot of problem solving along the way, had to get the bases made up, and I arrived and they were beautifully made to the right dimensions, all beautifully painted. And then as I picked one up to install it, I dropped it and it fell through the pier into the water, and I'm so embarrassed that happened. But the team were very responsive and helpful, and at all stages getting the work placed correctly and getting the correct wire. Every problem that came up, we were managed to solve it. So I'm grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, I have been spending beautiful time in here. According to the landscape, it's every day I can see the ocean and the beautiful mountains at the same time. I never been seen it in Mongolia. We don't have sea, and also the cow helped me a lot all the time. We are together, and she's helping me as a translator, and also helped me when I'm working at the pier. She's very good, and I'm very happy the other staffs, they very warm people. Yeah.
I'd like to appreciate all the team of Bienal SACO. It's incredible, very good organized process, everything. And yesterday I finished the installation of my work on the pier, and they resolved all my questions and fears and helped me with everything. It was amazing, and it will more, I think. If we talking about the experience on the city, I found Antofagasta very different from places which I already used to see in the world. I never saw the landscape like here, or Pacific Ocean too, and everything impressed me a lot. And it starts from the first day when I came from the plane, when I opened the window and saw this landscape. Something, I don't know, unbelievable to see so big, huge space without trees, rivers, and green, which green color doesn't have. I felt like this landscape without, like naked landscape. It impressed me a lot. And people in the city very kind, and they helping all the team and just the people too, which we already met here. So I found this place very unique and magnific and delicate at the same time, and very powerful and rich in the many layers.
I'm really inspired to be here in Antofagasta. It's quite different from anywhere I've been else. Especially the city landscape, the building and the architecture is something quite unusual, and I feel it's very inspiring to see how innovative it is, and how everyone as well as the birds here, the big scavenger birds, absolutely breathtaking, and the sea lions that are helping us with the installation. They're always they're hanging out at the pier during our processes. As for the installation, I haven't finished yet, so I'm excited to see how it will work today. I'm the last one, and I have to run right after we're done here. So come to the opening and find out.
Well, yesterday when we were installing the work at the pier, in a certain moment I noticed that the team have more control than myself of my work. So I think that it speaks, it says how professional they were. And it was also a multicultural team. One guy was from Venezuela, the other one from Bolivia, the other one was Chilean, and they were amazing. I must thank you. Thank all of them, and also all the biennial for this warm welcome and so professional assistance to our work here. Regarding to the city is amazing. The Museu, Huanchaca Museu, it's great architecture. And also the city itself, the way that it works like a metropolis and not like a small town. It's so, I'm amazed because it's so cosmopolitan. People are very nice in the streets. At the same time, you feel very safe and very comfortable in the streets. Thank you, Antofagasta, and thank you, SACO Bienal.
Bueno, en mi caso, más que conocer, ¿verdad?, es reconocer. Creo que he entrado en un juego más bien como de buscando las diferencias. En el muelle propiamente tal, que es un sitio, o el terminal pesquero en verdad, que visitaba o intentaba visitar con cualquier excusa cada vez que podía, la zona del faro, ¿verdad?, donde se ve la ciudad de frente, los cerros. Y claro, en ese sentido es interesante como, porque es un espectáculo, a todos les sorprende los lobos, ¿verdad?, cómo han llegado a la parte ya de la calzada. No veo guajaches ni algunas tortugas que recuerdo haber visto en algún momento, algo habrá pasado ahí, pero es muy interesante estar trabajando en este último momento, ¿verdad?, ya en las instalaciones del muelle, no solo por el muelle propiamente tal, sino porque ese lugar pienso que es donde el Pacífico en la ciudad se presenta de la forma más calma, más tranquila, con otros colores, con otros destellos, con otros brillos. Por tanto, es un lugar que cuando mis compañeros y compañeras recorran un tanto más la costa, que sé que lo han hecho, se van a encontrar con otra fuerza, ¿verdad?, del Pacífico. Por tanto, creo que eso también es un contexto especial que uno lo nota después en la diferencia. Y bueno, por otro lado también, en esto de reconocer Antofagasta, siempre que puedo intento subir un tanto, porque insisto, uno puede ir de una región a otra de la que están adyacentes y quizás no cambia tanto, pero dentro de la misma región, solamente por el cambio de altura, es otra cosa, o culturalmente sobre todo. Pienso que eso vamos a tener posibilidad de subir un tanto, así que espero que sea de total interés. Nada, sobre el equipo, nada más que agregar, lo han dicho mis compañeros y mis compañeras, son increíbles. Y en mi caso, estuve un poco antes trabajando aquí, lugar que los que son de aquí, ¿verdad?, saben que es primera vez que tiene una apertura de uso. Entiendo que se ha podido visitar para ciertos días, ¿verdad?, relacionados al patrimonio. Pero creo que recorrerlo, ¿verdad?, como contenedor de las obras es muy interesante. Hay un lugar ahí, ¿verdad?, de trabajo, algunos han estado, entonces creo que esa experiencia de estar ya un tanto más permanente en este sitio, ¿verdad?, que hasta hace poco totalmente abandonado. Ha sido genial. Y así como mis compañeros mencionaban, ¿verdad?, a los trabajadores de la parte de producción, aquí por lo menos me he encontrado también con toda la otra parte del equipo también, que son geniales, y los mediadores y mediadoras, ¿verdad?, increíbles. O sea, lo comenté en algún momento, no recuerdo si aquí, ¿verdad?, pero esa relación, disposición, información no la he visto en otras instancias tan fuerte, y eso me gusta.
Bom, gostaria de começar agradecendo, porque está sendo uma experiência muito encantadora, e também por primeira vez com o Pacífico. Isto todo é muito impressionante para mim, é muito encantador estar acá, e o impacto com a paisagem é muito grandioso, muito. Claro, quando llego em Muelle, sou recebido pelos lobos marinos, que são muito ternos, muito teatrales também, e também por los rotes em la Muelle. E uma coisa que me pareceu muito interessante, caminhando pela caleta de pescadores, foi me senti um pouco uma situação muito familiar para mim, porque estou trabalhando em caleta de pescadores em Brasil, e há algo muito comum, muito não sei, eu gostaria de conhecer mais, porque não tive muito tempo para estar lá. Pero sim, me parece que há algo aí que está muito quase que as mesmas questões, os mesmos problemas, as mesmas forças, creio que isto é uma coisa que me faz pensar que esta relação, este modo de vida com o mar cria algo que me pareceu muito comum. Também, claro, esta cidade tem problemas muito parecidos com muitas cidades em Brasil que estão também em esta situação de explotação, né, e de precariedades. Então, claro, isto é muito bonito, que nós, creio, latino-americanos, temos uma força de, mesmo em estas situações que claramente temos problemas muito grandes, né? Temos também esta capacidade de saber recepcionar os estrangeiros. Então, acá também me senti que as pessoas foram muito amáveis comigo em las calles. Então, não sei, estas foram minhas impressões hasta agora.
Thank you. Now is the moment to invite the audience to ask one or two questions, because we have like 10 minutes more. So if someone wants to ask something, it's welcome.
I will do it in English, and I can translate it, no worries. Or if you provide, yeah, okay, I will stick with English. I have two questions, so if I don't want to, steal the spot for others if they have questions. My first question relates to the topic of the Biennale, the cultural text, and the relationship with the science. I'm coming from this posture that I still believe in science, so I would like to learn what do you think, each of you, or if somebody wants to skip the question, they can of course skip it, but what do you think as an artist, how the artistic method which is different from scientific methods, but how it can, what is the place of this type of generation of knowledge? Each of the pieces that are going to be, that are in the moya, in the pier, generate some kind of understanding, yes, and some kind of knowledge. And what do you think, how art in that way position itself vis-a-vis science and scientific method and discovery? Because science believes, even though that we are not able to see something, there is something, because we can discover it with the scientific method. So that's one question. And the other is how this kind of biennales or events and projects that are temporary, and they also respond to a call, to a very specific call, how each of you position it within your practice, within your creation and your methodology. How do you refer to it? Is it like a I don't know, a certain departure, or it is a part of your natural artistic expression? So 2 questions.
I can start. I'm very interested in science, and I'm very interested in art. I think there's a relationship. Science often has answers, art asks questions, but I think science is also continuously asking questions through a hypothesis, and it tries to find an answer, but science continuously revises itself. I also believe in science, but I also think that science exists within a context. In Aotearoa, New Zealand, there is a conversation around science versus Mātauranga Māori, which is indigenous knowledge. They're different ways of knowing because they're on a different time scale. So sometimes science is making improvements and discoveries. I think art has a more open form of knowledge where it's asking more questions and doesn't need to hold the answers, but lets people who are viewing the art find the answers for themselves and find new questions. So it's this constant circle of question and answer and understanding more deeply and more broadly. For my own art, I think I am interested in the science of the sea. I found out through this project that with sea sponge in particular, they're using the sea sponge to find cures for HIV and for cancer. So finding ways to, it's not just up to us to help the sea is also helping us. And so in this way, we are all connected. There's no kind of, it's not just a question or an answer, it's a continuous circle.
There's something very unique in my experience of looking at biennials in this event, which is the idea, the practical decision to have a inside collective workshop to produce in it. It is rather unique. So I was wondering to which extent that experience of having the galpón that is used to produce has defined what you've been doing here. What kind of community you build around this workshop, and what are the disadvantages of having to work in that specific place that I understand many of you have used together to produce your works.
Bom, yo voy a tentar responder a Alicia primero. para mí esta relación con la ciencia es una relación muy interesante, pero desde que la ciencia no se coloque como un lugar de la verdad. Creo que la ciencia es una forma experimental también. La verdad es una construcción común y hay otros saberes que están también ahí, que no son, que no tienen la misma genealogía, como no sé cómo se dice, genealogía, pero que son saberes que tienen también tu valor de verdad y tu complejidad enorme. En Brasil, hoy estamos muy interesados entre estas relaciones. Creo que era de esto que estaba hablando un poco cuando hablaba de materialismo encantado, porque sí, me encanta lo materialismo, la forma crítica de pensar o mundo, a partir del materialismo, para mí ainda es muy valiosa, muy importante. Pero cuando estamos haciendo trabajos con comunidades, en países que ainda tienen un saber que escapa a esta forma, que se un poco arrogó, se colocó como la única que puede tener la verdad. Esto para mí es algo que tenemos que tener mucho cuidado, porque puede ser muy tramposo, muy peligroso, sobre todo porque hoy, sin lo saber, por ejemplo, de los pueblos originarios, no tenemos como resistir a este avanço, por ejemplo, en Brasil, sobre las florestas que están siendo destruidas. Entonces, para mí esta es una relación que en arte podemos reflexionar muy bien sobre este diálogo. Claro, la ciencia queda siendo muy importante, muy valiosa, y creo que estos diálogos que aquí en SACO tenemos me encantan mucho, y esto sí. Ahora, no sé, sobre la otra cuestión, creo que estamos descubriendo juntos en el muelle estas relaciones entre los trabajos, creando diálogos, creando formas de entender, mas é algo que está, creio, ainda se processando, não sei, mas já tivemos algumas conversas e vimos já muitas relações acontecendo entre os trabalhos. E, claro, o trabalho também ha hecho com o diálogo com a curadoria, que foi também muito interessante, muito propositiva, por exemplo, para mim, que havia hecho um projeto para uma grua e depois me proponeram cambiar e me pareceu muito bem. Então, estas formas de contribuição se dão também não somente entre nós, mas também mesmo em la montagem com a equipe. Todo isto foi muito coletivamente construído.
Who would like to answer the question? So I would like to invite you to give a big applause to all the artists present here. It was very interesting to hear them sharing their knowledge, experiences, perspectives on the role of art in our territories. This dialogue invites us to continue thinking of art as a tool of for transformation, critique, and collective creation. We warmly invite you to continue joining us for the programming of the SACO1.2 Bienal Dark Ecosystems. Tomorrow, we will host the talk, The Bienal as Intervention by Cuauhtémoc Medina, one of Latin America's most influential art critics and curators. With an international career as chief curator of the University Museum of Contemporary Art, MUAC, associate curator of the Tate Modern in London, and curator of Manifesta 9 in Belgium, Medina has led projects exploring the intersections of art, history, and social critique, establishing himself as a key figure in contemporary Latin American art. We also remind you of the opening at the Melbourne Clark Historic Pier taking place next Thursday, July 17 at 11 a.m., a space where art and territory come together once again in a unique experience. Thank you very much for being with us here at La Molinera, and also to those who have been following the live broadcast. We wish you an excellent day and look forward to seeing you at our upcoming events. Thank you very much.